Hello. I wouldn't say I'm particularly behind schedule when it comes to these. I don't think. Not that there ever was a concrete schedule besides me saying every 2 or 3 or 4 days, barring any other things. Regardless, I've had a pretty interesting, if not crummy, but I don't know, a very up and down weekend. um, it started with me coming directly off of the hype that I had experienced off of the camp I had told you about. Um, Coming off of that and then off of my work week onto another 5-day weekend because I booked more days off a month prior for a reason I will get to. I was pretty excited, and coming off of the hype of that, I had ordered a little clip-on guitar tuner that I can now take with me anywhere and use in place of my phone instead of having to borrow other people's. I ordered a new capo, same brand and same style as the one I did not get back from that kid at the camp, except this one is a metallic blue instead of a black one. And it is very, very pretty. Makes me wish I had a guitar in this colour, but my blue guitar is more beige on front, blue on back. Maybe I may consider posting a picture of the guitar I refer to. I have, at the moment, 4 guitars. More 3. Because one of them is not fully intact and is currently on a makeshift table in my garage. It's been in the back of my car for months. I think I mentioned it. I was going to get it repaired, but instead I bought my current acoustic, which yesterday I took to the shop I bought it from to cash in my free checkup and tune-up that it came with when I bought it. I figured since it had been through rough weather at the camp, with it constantly changing from 31 degrees to wet and rainy and then to dry, and yeah, surely it should need to be looked at. Right, where was I? Right, I bought, tuner capo, and I also bought something I came across, I think, in one of the previous videos when I was browsing Amazon, which was the Donna Hush Pro, which is an electric acoustic sort of compact travel guitar with a lot of things built into it, which I think is very cool, and I really, really wanted the white one. I was going to wait to order it off of Amazon until my birthday, which is not for a while yet. But instead, after deliberating, looking between the $600-700 price in my Amazon cart with the capo and tuner, and then looking back at my wallet, I decided that I could not afford it until I decided on a whim to check the official Donner website, the Canadian one. And lo and behold, it's cheaper on there, and it's on sale on there, and I had a discount code on there, so in the end I got $200 off of the thing, and then I financed that. I ordered that Wednesday night, and it was meant to arrive Friday. On what did I do on Wednesday? I don't actually remember what I did on Wednesday. Hold on. I'm gonna have to check. A good way for me to oh, that's what happened. Right. Okay, so on Wednesday I was reorganizing my Ableton projects and such, and this and that, and on a whim, when my little brother, who's a bit of a mechanic, maybe I've already talked about this, but my little brother, who's a bit of a mechanic, came around just sort of on a whim after he had finished his work day. Right. Yeah. Wait. No, I've definitely talked about this. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I was saving it. Well, either way, you're gonna listen to me repeat myself, I guess. Okay, so I my little brother came over, and he's a bit of a mechanic, so I asked for his help in removing the giant subwoofer and amplifier and all the other garbage that's been in my trunk since I got my car, and then unwiring the thing and hopefully hooking the original speakers back up, because to my knowledge they'd been disconnected. We spent 3 hours in the driveway trying to get all of the things out, and turns out the last guy had done a really thorough job of hiding the cables away by putting it under every bit of exterior paneling. After struggling with it, my little brother left after the 3rd hour, and I struggled with it for longer, and I'd come to realize after I was getting quite tired, and I was still sore from the frisbeeing on Monday, I came to realize that to fully get the wires out, I'd have to take out all of the seats, take apart the entire center console, and then take off the driver's side door and the exterior paneling around that side of the car just to get the wires out. And even then, I have to buy a new set of speakers for the car, because the last guy snipped off the ends and soldered on these connectors that I cannot work with. So needless to say, I've been without a car radio, and I've just had to sing to myself whenever I'm driving, looking like a crazy person when I have the windows down. Anyway, come Thursday, and my friend and his girlfriend asked around if anybody wanted to go to IKEA, and I was the only one who answered. So we had a good time in IKEA, and then we went to an Asian market, and I was surprised to learn about these little sparkling lemonade drinks that come in transparent cans. They're like half bottles with can lids, like tin can, like soda can lids. It's very interesting. Um, I forget what we had done after that. I think after that we just hung around the house. But the next day, uh, we did something at my friend's house that we did at Christmas as well. And that is, me and my bandmates, which are two of my friends who I was in a band with in high school, we gathered up all of our collective music equipment that we had on hand, speakers, amps, cables, microphones, instruments, and then my laptop, and then connected them all up to the laptop, and then started making music. I'm trying to remember if we did it for more than one night. So that would have been, what day was that? Hold on. Oh, right. Before I went, like that afternoon, I wrote a song and hastily slapped together a recording and then brought it over to play to one of my bandmates. It is on my SoundCloud, and I think the second half of it might be the best thing I've ever done, or at least the soundest thing I've ever done. I am very proud of the album art. I think I did a very good job with the Photoshop there. Check it out if you get the chance. The song is just called Grow Up. At some point within the next week, maybe even tomorrow, if I'm awake enough before work or not so tired after work, maybe then I'll clean it up and re-upload it. But for now, the first half is an absolute mess. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, we made 2 songs, and I think it was just the one night. Yeah, it's just the one night, but we made 2 songs. One of them was a very, how to describe it? Like somewhere between lo-fi chill beats with an acoustic guitar, and One Point Perspective by the Arctic Monkeys, or just the entire what's the album called? I'm struggling to remember. Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. That's the one. Like that album, sort of. That fancy hotel in the 70s type song. And then the other one was a 80s style electric piano sort of ballad thing that we didn't really flesh out all the way because unfortunately my friend's girlfriend who was staying over was getting very tired, and it was 1 a.m. and we were still trying to work on this song, and she's like, please, can I go to bed? So unfortunately we had to be kicked out. We intended maybe on continuing work on it the next day, but at that point I'd hung out with my bandmates 3 days in a row, and while I wasn't entirely tired of it, I'm sure my friend and his girlfriend were dying for a day alone just to chill out. So there you go. Nothing really. I was a little frustrated yesterday because I did really want to work on the songs that we'd sort of left unfinished. But beyond that, I wanted to work on anything at all, any of my projects. But unfortunately, I was left without guitar because it was at my friend's house, without my laptop because it was at my friend's house, and I think that's it actually. Oh right, without my microphone, so I couldn't even retake. Well, without my microphone I use for vocals instead of the one I'm using right now. So I couldn't even retake the vocal bits I was unhappy with for what recordings I had. Instead I did take the day to take my acoustic to the shop. That was, well, I need to stop picking up things and playing with them. Yeah, I took my acoustic to the shop, and I took it in quite late because I woke up quite late, and whoopsie daisy, I'm probably not going to get it back to the middle of the week. And on top of that, the guitar that was supposed to arrive on Friday didn't arrive, and I had checked the delivery thing over and over again all day, but in the middle of Friday, well past the estimated delivery window, I got an update on the thing that they gave me an update when I ordered it, label created, and then the morning of, 12 hours later, they gave me another update. We have your package. And then some more hours later, they gave another update. Oh yeah, we've just shipped your package, right? And that was all on the 5th, which the 5th was. Oh, the 5th was the Tuesday. Yeah, the 5th was the Tuesday. Supposed to arrive on the Friday, and I hear nothing until late evening on the Friday. And what did they tell me late evening on the Friday? Well, not late evening, 5 p.m. They say that at 3 in the morning on the Friday, a mechanical failure has delayed delivery. We are adjusting plans to deliver your package as quickly as possible. It happened at 5 in the morning. No, not 5. 5 where it came from. 3 where I'm from. It happened at 3 in the morning, and they waited. How long is that? How long did they wait? They waited 14 hours to tell me that I wasn't going to get my package when they told me my package would be here. And they waited to tell me until after their customer service had closed for the next 3 days. Well, 2 days, but I'm counting the rest of Friday as a day. Because inexplicably, despite constantly sending packages and operating trucks over the weekend, customer service and the offices for UPS do not open on weekends. This is new to me. I've never had to worry about a package. Not like whenever I order something and it's like, yeah, it'll be there in like by the 28th of the next month or something, then if it's that far enough away, I don't care when it arrives, and I'm not going to be checking. So it could take another month and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like if you give me a wide window, but if you tell me it's going to be here in 3 days, and we're at like 6 now, and it's still not here? Really? It's infuriating. I was so excited. Like, oh, I have a long weekend. I can like have all the fun with this new thing. That like I can. It would be great. I'll have so much fun with it, right? Nope, didn't arrive. And they wouldn't even tell me what had actually happened. Like mechanical failure. Did a truck break down? Was it going through the air? Is my package destroyed? It just says mechanical failure has delayed delivery. There's so much for me to assume in this situation. And after getting increasingly anxious that it just wasn't going to show up, I created an account with UPS, which I didn't have. I was just using the tracking number at that point. And it wasn't until I created an account. This is UPS, by the way. That's for those also in Canada, that's the one that's transporting my things this time. It's through creating an account that they finally decide to tell me that it's not even their truck or their plane that has had an issue. It's some other company, some third party, some third party shipping and receiving company based out of the other side of the country. And of course, they are completely closed on weekends. I can't call them to ask if my package was damaged, if I'm ever going to get it. It's infuriating. I was so excited. Anyway, that made yesterday pretty terrible. I didn't get to work on anything that much. I got so desperate, actually, that I started just like doing songs in all MIDI, because I don't have any instruments on me, so I just put things into the chart and tried to make like a synthwave song, and it didn't turn out very well because I know my chords and notes through guitar, not through piano, so I can't really translate it without one in my hands. By the end of that day, I felt I had wasted quite a lot of time. And of course, every 15 minutes, I'd refresh the UPS page hoping for an update, and I still haven't had anything. But I'd go downstairs, I'd check the front door, and nothing. No package at the door. The dog hadn't even been barking. And I'd go back upstairs and refresh the page. Nothing. And then flip between several windows and tabs, trying to figure out what I should do. It was terribly, terribly boring yesterday. Today was supposed to be different. Because now I will get to why I had booked this time off in the first place. And that's because this weekend, the weekend that has just passed, the local sort of large anime convention happened. Now, if I go into my photos right now, let me check that. Let's see. If I go back to that era of my life, it's all it's all a bunch of memes, because I'd be in school bored and then I'd save them to my phone, and Google Photos backs up everything. Anyway, I haven't been to a proper hobby convention in 5 years. The last one I went to was in 2019. I think for a year or two there, the convention hadn't been happening, but by the time it had come back, any friends I had in high school who would have gone, I was no longer talking to, and anybody else I knew who would have gone had moved away. So I had no real reason to go alone. I was working anyway, right? But this time around, this year, my school friends, who are great artists, were watching booths for friends who are also great artists, or selling art like prints and stickers themselves. One of my friends was even selling keychains. So I decided to go this year, just to sort of see them, and rather than go for all 3 days of the convention, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I opted just to go on Sunday to buy things at the Artist's Alley. There were no events on the schedule that day or otherwise that I really felt like I had to go to, but I should go rather than not, right? And in this, I had completely forgotten what conventions are like. See, I thought I had sort of broken the social limiter I had on my person through the music camp, right? Socializing with all of those strangers over just a few days. And I'd be fine. But after parking my car in the parkade and entering the convention center, I swiftly came to realize that I was very, very out of my depth. there were so many people wearing merch and in cosplay, and I was wearing any clothes I would have worn to any other type of function. I felt I felt I felt so out of place. It's weird seeing so many people who are far more into whatever it is they are into than I am in those types of things. Yeah, so I was very anxious the entire time. I quickly sort of slink through the crowds, which I've come to realise I'm quite terrible at. Like, I can get around people, but as soon as somebody is heading in my direction, I freeze up. I never know whether I should be the one to try to move around them, or if they're going to move around me. And it always puts me in this awkward situation where I'm accidentally moving into someone's way instead of out of it. Either way, I got to my friend's booth, and he was selling a lot more prints than I thought he'd actually be selling, because I've only seen a handful of his illustrations, but I know he's been like painting a lot. And the improvement from like the first drawings of his I saw 2 years ago versus what I've seen now, the difference is staggering. So I'm very proud of him. Though I'm not one to buy prints. In fact, when I arrived there, I had no idea what I was going to buy, if anything. I still, like, even after finding my friends, I wanted to just stay at their booth, because going anywhere else felt sort of... I felt like being a fish out of water. I felt like I wasn't allowed to breathe. After looping the artist alley like 10 times, I eventually figured out what I wanted to buy. I realised that I should probably get matching keychains for my crossbody bags, right? Something that fits the colour palette of the bag. I have green keychains of Bulbasaur and Leafeon for my 2 green crossbody bags. I don't wear green often, by the way, just sometimes. And I have a blue one of Rem from ReZero on my laptop bag, but presently I don't have any other good keychains for any of my other bags. And I feel like they're good conversation starters, and a way to signal to others that this is something I like, and I'm not willing to, or I'm not afraid to hide it. Or, no, I'm not afraid to show it, though in subtle ways. I think keychains are a little more subtle than wearing a giant t-shirt with the character's face on it. And I wanted stickers, because when that guitar does arrive, I sort of want to decorate the back of it with stickers maybe, and it's just good to have stickers. So I went looking. The characters I wanted stickers of and keychains of were Ellen Jo from Zen the Stone Zero, who is a character... I like her design a lot. Something about the like two-tone black and pink hair always gets me. Um, yeah, and I just think she's a very cute character. But similarly, there's, oh fuck, what's her name? I don't play Blue Archive. Is it Kazuma? Is it Kazuma? Kazusa. Kazusa from Blue Archive, who has the, or not the, yeah, pretty much the same like color thing going on with her hair, which I just think is great. Yeah, I've seen a lot of very cute art of both of these characters, so I kind of wanted like keychains and stickers of them, and then the the final character I wanted, just anything of, was the Hololive VTuber Uzura, or Ozura Subaru, who happens to be the only character from anything I have a like vinyl figure of, and she sits atop my computer. She's sort of always been up there since I got back from Japan. Yeah. Now, did I find what I was looking for? Not really. I've haphazardly shoved things into one of my empty drawers in the desk. But what I did end up buying, I did find a Kazusa keychain. Oh, I've just realized I said to the guy I wanted Kazama, which, like, I don't know if it is a Blue Archive character, but he seemed to have got the point. The other keychain I got is a like little 3D plastic figure of the autism creature, which, for those who don't know, you can just look it up and it should show up. It's like the little four-legged white thing with the black eyes with the white dots in it, and it's usually accompanied by like confetti and yippee, which is can be funny. Actually, I might just I'm going to describe the merch I got, but I'll take a picture and do like a spread of it as like a community post thing. The other things I got that are sort of keychains are like little key tags. They're like these fabric rectangles that rest on a keychain with your key. One of them has that like "Hello everyone" cat guy from Azumanga Daioh. I don't know his name, but he's like the yellow cat thing. It has him and text that says "You cannot escape your own fate," which is very ominous, and I think it's quite comedic when paired with that cat. The other one is like this sort of techwear thing, design. The brand name is called Fake Hero, or Fake X Hero? I don't know. Their logo seems to be a rabbit, which I do agree with. I got 3 of them because they had like 3 buy 2 get 1 free pricing. I got, now for stickers, I got a lot more stickers. I got a bumper sticker that's like very techwear, and there's another Fake Hero thing. But for regular stickers, I got a dozen bunny ones. There's one here of a little chubby white rabbit receiving an award that says "Tummy Ache Survivor." This one, it's a rabbit winking with two peace signs. It says, "Being Delulu is the Salulu." I sort of just... I had to pick another one because it was like, buy 3, get 1 free. Then there's a rabbit here giving bombastic side-eye, and a rabbit doing that like SpongeBob imagination pose, rainbow over its head, and it says "Overthinker," which I have been known to do. The other stickers I got, there's a Kazusa sticker that I think she's eating like a tart or something. I don't know. I got it with the keychain. One of those little rock guys from Princess Mononoke, like the little rock guys from the forest. And then one of the little dust guys from Spirited Away. Well, wait. I think, are they in both Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro? I think they're most famously in Spirited Away. Maybe. And then I have one that of like a rabbit that sort of looks like Muffy, and it's wearing headphones. I'm just going to leave these on here so I can like take a picture of them after. Yeah. And that's everything I got. There was a Gundam I wanted to get that I had eyed previously when I was in the mall. But it was like $80 something, and I looked at my bank account and my bank account was $80 something. So I decided that perhaps I'd like to eat this week, and I decided not to buy it. I arrived to the convention quite late. It had started at 10, but I didn't get there till about 2. So after I had finally been done looking for stickers and such, the artist alley was coming to a close. There were so many cosplayers though, like way more than I remember in 2019. I've only done cosplay once, and it was when I was in middle school. And it wasn't even, well, actually, once it was for a convention, but that was a long time ago, and I can't even fathom doing it now unless somebody like really egged me on to do it. I personally don't think I have like a face that's very good for it. There are some very good cosplays, like there's people with high quality costumes, but then there's people who've like gone in with the makeup and they like their face like works for the character. I find cosplays where the face like doesn't quite match the face of the character are very off-putting. Now, is that a reason not to cosplay if like your face doesn't match? Absolutely not. But I I'm just too picky. That's the issue here. Anyway, I went outside, and there were a number of like cars with wraps on them around, like modded cars with anime wraps. I saw a guy dressed up as the Heavy from Team Fortress 2 on the ground eating a sandwich, and like I didn't see his face, but from behind he looked like an AI generated image of TF2 Heavy real life, which I found very, very funny. The cars were pretty cool, but the coolest cars were sort of at the ground level. The convention took place underground, sort of, and there was sort of like a balcony loft area where there were a handful of cars. But on the ground level, on the street level, there were even more cars. There was the Hu Tao car, which I had actually seen in my town before, and I only saw it once, but it had been so long that I thought I imagined it. No, turns out it's real, and it was at the convention. And then I saw they had two Miatas parked right by the entrance, one for Fuwawa and one for Mokuko, who, if you don't watch VTubers, they've gained a lot of fame as of late because they're in Hololive and they're twins, and most of the time they stream together on one account. Yeah, anyway, I think Miatas are very fun, and I sometimes dream about owning a current gen Miata, like one with a convertible hard top. I actually don't like that much how old Miatas look. I think they look a bit silly, but the principle of the thing, a super lightweight, super bare bones car, I like that. Anyway, next to the Hu Tao car, a bit of ways away from the entrance of the convention center, was a Hoshimachi Suisei car. And as I was about to go and take a closer look at it, a man wearing a Suisei robe with an electric guitar placed an amp atop the vehicle and then gave instruments to two Suisei cosplayers and proceeded to do a performance in which he soloed out on an electric guitar all of the vocal bits from that one Suisei song that goes like, how does it go? You know the one. I think the song might just be called Bibbidi. I don't know. But that was fun to watch. I did not approach them. I did not try to talk to them. In fact, I didn't talk to anybody in the convention center who wasn't my friend or my friend's friend. And honestly, I feel pretty ashamed of that, but I don't know. There were just so many people. And everybody seemed like they were going somewhere, and everybody on the ground seemed so unapproachable. And I myself felt like probably looked pretty out of place, just the way I was dressed. I looked like I had gotten lost, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably go back next year, maybe for some more days if there's more interesting events, but I don't know. Anyway, what did I do for the rest of the day? Right, I got so frustrated after I'd gotten back from the convention center, because the sort of situation and anxiety of it made me want to strum out a song and maybe write it down. But I had none of my instruments, with the acoustic being at the shop and the other 2 guitars being at my friend's house. And with that one that was supposed to be here Friday, still having not arrived. So, in my full anxiousness, after going up and down the stairs several times, just sort of pacing until, like, hoping something happens. So I decide to message my friend, like, hey, can I come over? Can we continue working on the song? And he regretfully informed me that he was out having a nice dinner with his girlfriend and that nobody was home. So and that his parents would be back the next day, so they'd have to pack things up tomorrow, and we wouldn't be able to work on it for a while. So in that, I remembered that I have the code to his garage, and I went and retrieved all of my things. Not in a resentful way. I let him know that I was going to go grab my things, but it's a shame that we couldn't get more done. The same sort of thing happened at Christmas. We spent too much time, like, doing unrelated things, and because of how terrible I am at getting out of bed and how distracted I get, I arrive late, and we start late, and then we end late, and yeah. Next time I'll be there earlier. Anyway, I got my things back, and I started working on another song, but I didn't really get anywhere with it. So instead, I started working on an old song, which I was sort of proud of the lyrics for, and I thought, well, since I made that one the other day that sounded pretty good, maybe I can make this one sound better as well. It's recorded and everything, but it was never uploaded anywhere. So I worked on that for a bit while watching the anime Gate. But after a while of doing that, I came to realize it'd gotten a bit late and I was getting hungry. I went down for food and then I got stuck. I ended up watching a movie with my mum. It's like a Netflix movie about this American girl who goes to Oxford and meets this, like, playboy guy who ends up being her professor or something. It's like a romance thing, and my mum's in love with the male lead, and she made me watch it, and it was very sad. And then I tried working on the song more after I was done with that, and now I'm here because I ran out of energy. Yeah. Oh, I had forgotten. Okay, so Saturday night I was also watching Gate, but I decided to make popcorn to eat while I was watching it. And I bought this stuff like a while back that's like butter salt or something. Apparently it's what the movie theaters use to season their popcorn, and it makes it taste like it gives it that movie theater taste, and it definitely is that. It's a very fine salt. I just made microwave popcorn, and then poured some into the bag and shook it around like really good. And then I peeked inside and I'm like, maybe that's not enough. And then I poured more in and then looked again and I went, maybe that's not enough, and poured more in. And I'd completely forgotten that the last time I used it, I had used way too much. And this time I maybe used double what I had used last time. So I swear to God, I'm like an animal. Even though it hurt to eat, it tasted so good. So I kept eating it, and I've completely fried my taste buds, and my mouth still hurts. And that might be why I sound a little odd today. It's because I have over-salted my mouth from the popcorn seasoning. Yeah. Anyway, here's hoping that Katara arrives sooner rather than later. If I wake up early enough tomorrow, I'm going to Cole and get an actual update on what the hell is going on with my package. Yeah. It's infuriating. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to go to bed now. Let me take a picture of my keychains and such really quick. Oh, my mouse pad's kind of dirty. That's embarrassing. Well, no point in hiding that my mouse pad is dirty. Like, you heard it, and now if I try hiding it further, you're going to be like, oh, but we know it's dirty, something. It's fine. It's fine. Let me move the mic out the way and I'll take the picture right now so I don't forget. And then crop. How do I crop you? That should do. Okay, yeah, I'll upload that as a community post. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. So now it's time to go to bed. If you somehow fell asleep to my sort of groaning voice today, well done. At this point, you could probably fall asleep to about anything, and I envy you for that. If you're still awake, try one of my older videos, maybe, or something better. I'd recommend something, but I don't know anybody's tastes really, so I find information overload can be a good way to fall asleep. like zoning out in science class or something. So I sometimes put on science videos, and Mini Minuteman has been working for that category lately. Sometimes I do remember the things he says, but most of the time he talks so much and has so many asides and little bits of information to share that I get lost. But a lot of people might be turned away by the sort of his tone is very aggressive almost. I don't know. Some people might be put off by the way he talks, but anyway, yeah, that's a recommendation, I guess. I myself, I'm going to go to bed right after I edit this. Yeah. And then tomorrow I work, and hopefully I'll figure out when my guitar is going to be here. Yeah. Right, I promise there will be a guitar bit in the, well, when I get my acoustic back. Or if the new guitar arrives and it sounds good, I will use that instead of the acoustic. Because again, right now I don't have it. Anyway, yeah, bye-bye. Good night. Oh, wait, no, it's good night. Bye-bye.